Hey, what is up, folks? Zerofats here, coming at you on behalf of AdventuresOnTheRiver.com. I was motivated to make this video today after talking to some friends the other night. They're big gamers. I got some friends they're really big gamers, man, and they were talking about being tired because they played they played this game, and they were playing this game like from 6 p.m. to like 1 or 2 in the morning, and they do that kind of thing, man, all the time. And I was like taken aback by that. I didn't say anything to him, because I'm a nice guy. I don't like to, judge people and give them a hard time about how they want to live their lives. But it was funny, man, because I was thinking like, wow, what did I do last night? And I remember what I did. I was working on that FBA module. I was working on FBA module for AdventuresOnTheRiver.com. I worked on that probably for about the same amount of time that they were playing those games. And I couldn't explain that to them anyway, man, because I don't think they'd understand the FBA module. What are you talking about? They don't understand about Amazon. They don't understand about FBA. They don't understand about, you know, you talk about making independent money and their eyes just glaze over. Their eyes just glaze over. They don't understand. They're 9 to 5 guys. They work. They're programmed, man. They're programmed to work. They work, and they get a couple days off a week. And when it's the weekend, it's time to party, man. They don't worry about it. They like their days off. They're smart guys. They're smart guys. But there's a difference between being smart and being motivated. There's a difference between intelligence and ambition. And I gotta tell you guys something, man. Ambition and motivation will take you much farther in this world than intelligence. Now, if you can be motivated and ambitious and intelligent, that's a lethal combination. But just one of those things, man, just the motivation alone will carry you a long ways, probably a lot farther than intelligence. But yeah, man, those guys, when it's Friday, they're ready for a couple days off. And it's funny, man, because I was hanging out with those guys on a Saturday, and it's funny because when you do what I do, like, there's no days off. I mean, there are no days off. I keep thinking that, like, maybe one day I'll be, so successful, or I'll be successful enough, I should say. I'll be making enough money doing what I do, to where I can just take days off here and there. And I believe that, But where I am right now, like, just getting to a place where, I don't really have to work for anybody else. I can just work for myself. In that place, I feel pressure, I feel like there's no room for days off. I'm motivated. You know what I mean? I'm motivated. I'm highly motivated, and I'm ambitious. I got no fewer than 5 revenue streams floating in, and I'm always looking for number 6, number 7, and number 8. But that's the funny thing, is I think that's how you gotta be. I mean, I believe that's how you need to be if you don't want to punch a clock. I come from a family of generational poverty. I can trace my family tree all the way back. There's a bunch of poor people all the way back. Now, for me to change that, for me to break that cycle, I had to work at it. I had to put in that work. And I don't mean punch in, punch out. I mean, take the risks that I need to take and work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? Because you can work for a company, 5 days a week, and then take your days off, collect your little paycheck, do what you gotta do, and hope you get your raises, blah 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 blah. Then 15 years down the road, get mad and wonder why they fired you, why they got rid of you, and you got a raw deal, Or you can take that risk and you can say, no, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work for myself. And that's it. And it's gonna work. And I'm gonna make it work. You can do that. And when you work for yourself, there's no days off, okay? There's no fucking days off, man. You jump into it, you jump into the deep end, and there's no days off. And that's what I don't think my buddies get. They don't understand it, you know. I say, oh man, you the hardest, you work harder at not working than anybody I know, man. You know, they're right. I do work harder at not working than anybody they know. The joke will be on them eventually, you know. But the thing about it is, like, you know, they'll say things like, well, you know, oh man, you smart, dude. You smart. I don't know how you make that work, man. You smart. No, I'm not smart. You know, I'm not smart. I'm just a normal guy. I'm motivated. I'm motivated to make that work. I believe, and the reason I started this channel, actually, this channel right here you guys are watching, the reason I started it is because I believe there are other people out there who can do the same thing. Honestly, I believe anybody can do it. I believe anybody can be independent 100%. But they can't do it without motivation. And I have to admit, you know, the longer this channel goes and the more I talk to people, I have to admit I have doubted that just anybody could do it. Maybe some people can't do it. You know, maybe some people, they were just too programmed for that 9-to-5 job. They're just too used to just collecting a paycheck and just doing it that way, you know. But deep down in my soul, I believe anybody can change. And what you have to understand is that you're going to have to change out of that mentality of, okay, today I'm working, tomorrow's my day off. Okay, I'm going to work 3 days and then I'm going to get a day off. Man, you got to get out of that mentality. I mean, if you're working for yourself and you're trying to make money, there's no days off. There's no days off in the independent lifestyle, you know. Not in my lifestyle. I mean, I remember, you know, I've done lots of affiliate marketing programs. I've done lots of things, lots of work from home programs where people try to tell you how to do this and how to do that, you know. And I appreciate all those programs because I learned a lot. But you know, one of their pull-ins is always like this cat sitting on a beach drinking cocktails, you know, sitting under the coconut trees, you know, looking out at the nice blue ocean, not doing anything, and the money's just like rolling in. I'm gonna have to tell you, man, I have not experienced that yet. You know, working for myself. Number one, don't get it messed up, okay? Because it is the most rewarding thing I have ever done. You know, maybe outside of you know, being a musician and you know, getting to play shows in front of people and having people tell me they like my music and they love the records I made and stuff like that. Outside of that, because that's my true passion, that's what I just love to do. But outside of that, like, making independent money has been a dream come true for me. I mean, it is the most rewarding, most gratifying thing I could do. But as far as like just not worrying about my businesses and just, you know, kicking back and letting the money roll in. Now, if somebody in my family was sick, I could do that. I could put things on hold for a couple days, whatever. But yeah, my experience has been that businesses require attention. Businesses require attention. You know, my most what's my most set it and forget it business. My most set it and forget it business is my digital publishing business. You know, where I publish ebooks. Those things are so easy, and I've done a few videos on that talking to you guys about the digital publishing thing. If you're interested in digital publishing, check out my website. I got a whole digital module on there. It teaches you 3 excellent ways to set up a digital publishing business and just set it and forget it. That's truly a set it and forget it business. I mean, you set that up. I know a guy the other day was talking to me about, hey, you know, man, I'd have to make 1,000 ebooks to make this work. Okay, so you need to make 1,000 ebooks. Okay, well, you know, the methods I show you, you're talking about churning out 3 to 4 ebooks a day, easily 3 to 4 ebooks a day. You know, I mean, you set it up as a project. You know, you set that thing up as a project, and you say, okay, I'm gonna set this up as a project. I'm gonna spend 3 months I'm going to spend 3 months on it. I'm going to get my 1,000 books set up, and then I'm going to forget about it, and I'm going to go to something else. It's a project. And that's a true set it and forget it business. I mean, you don't have to like it doesn't constantly require your attention. So that's what I love about the ebooks, you know. It's a real set it and forget it kind of thing. Now, if you're satisfied, you know, if you decide to do an ebook publishing kind of business, you set it up, and you set up you could call it an empire if you wanted to. I don't call it an empire. I think that term sounds contrived and just precocious, pretentious. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of making some digital books and calling it an empire. But I would call it a digital publishing business, and if that's all you need, then yeah, man, definitely set it and forget it and move on to something else. Man, you're talking about something you can do. You're talking about the digital publishing thing. It's something you can do and still work your 9-to-5 job. This is like a side project. You can work on those things on the weekend. Boom. And then, you know, eventually you're making a healthy income stream. I mean, the idea to me is to have a healthy income stream that matches what you're making at work. You know, that would be like the goal to me, you know. But everyone's got their own idea of success. Everyone's got their own idea of what success is. You know, me, I'm kind of like, my initial goal was I want to make as much money independently as I'm making at a job. You know, and once, the thing is, what I didn't think about is once you attain that level of success, you kind of start feeling like, wow, I've attained what I set out to do. I've attained it, but you don't feel secure in it, you know? It's weird. In a way you feel secure in it, in a way you don't feel secure in it. When you got a job, you feel sort of secure. You feel like I'm going to go, my job's going to be there. I'm going to go to work every day. As long as I work hard, you know, I'm going to do a good job, and I'm not going to lose my job. And that's all based on the idea that the business of your job is not going to go out of business. You know, there's a business somewhere in there. No matter what your job is, there's a business behind it, and that business has to do well for you to have a job. You know, when you work independently, it's no different. The only difference is you have a lot more control over the business. So, like, I guess to get back to what I was talking about, you know, me personally, you know, even though I attained that level of success of making what I made at a job, I'm still like always thinking, well, you know, this could dry up, that could dry up. So that's why I'm always looking for different revenue streams. Well, what else could I have going on? You know, what else is going on? So that way, if one of them dries up, there's always something else to take its place. That's like backup plans on top of backup plans, and it keeps me very busy. It keeps me very busy. You know, I don't know. I'm getting off topic on this video. Man, the topic of this video was supposed to be, you cannot afford days off when you want to work for yourself, okay? When you want to work for yourself and you want to be successful, there's no days off. There's no, oh, that's too much of a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, I did a video, matter of fact, I did a video just this past week about Amazon FBA and how you gotta handle your state sales tax. You know, and someone had wrote, man, that looks like a pain in the ass, man. Yeah, it is a pain in the ass. Declaring yourself a business in 19 different states is a pain in the ass. But look, don't get it mixed up, okay? Because nobody would do it if it wasn't worth it. I mean, you have to understand, man, I know people making 6 figures a year selling on Amazon FBA. $600,000 a year selling FBA, okay? They're not worried about state sales tax, okay? That's what kind of life-changing thing the Amazon FBA can do for you. Amazon FBA is life, that's not, look, anything can be life-changing. But Amazon FBA can be an immediate life changer, okay? This is a very powerful program we're talking about, you guys. I'm not talking about selling digital ebooks here, and it's going to take you a few months to get 1,000 of them off, and then you're going to have the equivalent of what you're making at work, or beyond that, probably. I mean, digital ebooks are pretty good, but it's going to take a little time in the front end to get that up to where it's going. There's very little front end when it comes to Amazon FBA. I mean, you start selling product and you start making money off a product. And it sells faster because it's Amazon FBA. I mean, you own the buy box most of the time. Your listings are ahead of Amazon third-party merchants most of the time. Your product comes directly from Amazon. People trust you more. There's a lot of things that happen that set into play, and which makes Amazon FBA worth it. She's like your beautiful girlfriend that's really high maintenance. And I'm talking about the state sales tax thing. I'm talking about the state sales tax, and I'm talking about some of the other kind of little shitty things that you have to deal with Amazon FBA. Amazon FBA is like your really beautiful girlfriend that she's really high maintenance. And every time you tell yourself, man, I'm done with you, you are a pain in the ass, you get like a glimpse of her in the mirror and you're like, oh my god, she's beautiful. No, I'm staying. Just forget it, I'm staying. That's Amazon FBA. She's a really high maintenance supermodel girlfriend. That's what Amazon FBA is. Amazon FBA is a pain in the ass sometimes. But Amazon FBA can make you a lot of money, and that's why you deal with it being a pain in the ass. So don't get it twisted up, okay? Don't get it twisted up. You can make a hell of a lot of money on Amazon FBA. No, it's not fun declaring yourself a business in 19 states. And it's not that fun making sure everyone's getting their sales tax either. That's not very fun. But don't get it wrong, if people weren't making a shit ton of money off of it, they wouldn't do it. And I'm including myself in that. If I couldn't make a lot of money off of it, I wouldn't be doing it. So, what's the end message here? This video has been kind of a rant, kind of a ramble, kind of a just, and I apologize for that, but I would say the end message really, and what I really wanted to convey to you guys is this. If you want to be successful independently, and I don't know if you guys are watching my channel, you do, there are no days off. You have to be motivated. You have to be motivated, and you have to believe in yourself. I've talked to so many people that really just truly did not believe. They didn't believe in themselves. You don't know how much I debated letting people know about that digital platform on this channel. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to let that cat out of the bag, because I knew I was unleashing like a really powerful way to make a lot of ebooks really quickly, and people were gonna be able to use that to make money. What surprised me was how many people doubted me. I was like, wow. And that's when I really started to figure out, people just, they doubt themselves. They doubt that something's going to work. And that's unfortunate. You guys, someone can tell you something works. They can give you proof that something works. They can show you multiple examples of how to do something. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe something's going to work, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. You have to find a way to believe in yourself. And I don't mean believe in yourself like, I believe in myself, I think happy thoughts about myself, I'm talking about believe in your ability to work for yourself, okay? I'm talking about believe that you are going to quit your job and work for yourself. Believe that. And if you can't believe that, it's never going to happen. If you can't envision it, you need to wake up seeing it. You need to imagine what it's like to wake up and not have to have a commitment to go somewhere to somebody and clock in. You have to imagine that. You have to see it every day. They talk a lot about this kind of thing actually in that book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I have a recommended reading section on this site, and I think on this channel, and that's one of the books I recommend, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Check it out. I mean, you have to see it, you guys. I mean, you have to see it. If you don't see it, it's never going to happen. You know, I mean, you have to see yourself as that guy, you know. You can't see yourself as just a normal guy who goes to work every day. You have to see yourself as the guy who's going to work for himself, and that is all there is to it. Not only work for yourself, but be successful working for yourself. Now, I don't know where you guys live out there, and the conditions might be better. Where I live, there's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of doubters. I mean, you know, there's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of different perceptions. People have different perceptions depending on who you are and what you do. You know, if you work at a fast food restaurant, people treat you a certain way. If you work at a doctor's office, people treat you a different way. I know a lady who works at a department store part-time, and she gets treated one way, and then she goes and she files people's taxes as a part-time accountant, and she gets treated a completely different way. The perception, you know what I'm saying? There's a perception there. When she goes to do people's taxes, they treat her with respect. You know, when she's working part-time at the department store, they treat her differently, like not with as much respect. And she thought that's funny, you know, that's really funny. And it is really funny. But how does it relate to this video? It relates to this video because when you work for yourself, at least around where I'm from, people don't know how to treat you. You know, they treat you like you have some kind of hidden knowledge that they don't have. Half of them want you to explain to them how you do it. The other half of them want to doubt you and feel like, you know, that's risky. That's risky. Your money's not going to last. You're going to be broke in 2 years. You know, and that's just the way it is. I mean, people don't understand it, so they doubt it. What people don't realize is, what I've learned is when you work for yourself, you work your ass off. You work very hard for the money that you have, but you work smarter. It's smarter work than just going to clock in and clock out at a job. You're doing smarter work. You're building something. You're building equity in yourself. You're creating something. You're creating something that cannot be destroyed by somebody else. I've unpacked a lot in this video. I hope some of it has helped some of you people, man. I hope you can get something out of the videos that I do. Anyways, I feel this video is very rambly. Just remember, stay motivated. If you want to work for yourself, you gotta stay motivated and you gotta believe in yourself. And that's just all there is to it. Those two things, man, will carry you to the top of the mountain. Motivation and believing in yourself. That will carry you to the top of the mountain. I'll take that over intelligence any day. If I had to have a business partner, I'll take someone who's motivated, ambitious, and believes in themselves, you know. I'll take those things over intelligence any day for a partner. Now for an employee, I'll take the intelligent one. I'll take someone who's intelligent, you know. I want to, you know, for an employee, I want a single, solid tool. I want someone who's good at this. I want someone who's good at that. I want someone who's good at the other thing. But for a partner, I want someone who's highly motivated. And that's just the way it is, man. Motivation and believing in yourself will take you to the top of the mountain. Never doubt it. Anyways, if you like this video, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel. I can use all the subscribers I can get. And last but not least, man, I am really excited about the FBA module. You might be hearing me talk about it in the next few videos, but it's just because I'm really excited about it. I feel like it's gonna help a lot of people, man. I'm gonna talk about importing. I'm gonna talk about wholesaling, drop shipping. I'm gonna talk about retail arbitrage, online retail arbitrage. There's a lot of things. We're going to talk about negotiation in there. There's a lot of things to unpack in the FBA module. I think it's going to help a lot of people. But that's coming up in a couple of weeks here on adventuresontheriver.com. yeah, man, when the FBA module comes out, there's gonna be a price increase in the website. All the people who get into the website now, they're grandfathered in. You're grandfathered in. It's a $10 one-time fee. That's it. You know, you guys are the first wave believers. You know, you believed in my site. I hope it helps you. You're grandfathered in. You get access to all the new content. As new things come out on the site, the price is going to go up a tiny bit. You know, not a lot, but it's got to go up a little bit to justify all the new content that's coming out. So, you know, that's just the way it is. The people who get in early, they didn't get as much content, they didn't have to pay as much, you know, and they get grandfathered in. That's how they get rewarded for getting in early. They're rewarded with all the free content that's coming in. So I hope that makes sense. I don't want anybody to think I'm some kind of shark and I just want to take all your money. But that's just, you know, that's just part of business. You know, you have to raise your price as the content gets bigger and bigger and more. FBA module is going to help a lot of people, man. So anyways, I'll catch up with you guys next time. This video's been way too long. I'll see you guys. Peace.